Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Back to School webinar, Mindfulness and Emotional Intelligence Tools for Teens, whether you have a middle schooler or a high schooler. This webinar is meant to give you ideas to reset in the school year, refocus, and recharge through mindfulness. So today we're going to explore practical mindfulness and emotional intelligence tools for your middle schoolers and your high schoolers. These tools can be used in the classroom. They can be used in advisory periods, counseling settings, extracurricular programs, and at the home as well. Teen stress does not stay in one location. Academic pressure, friendships, activities, family responsibilities, social media, future decisions that they have to make, work schedules, and lack of sleep, that's a big one for teens, can affect how our teens function throughout the day. The goal is not to force our teens to feel calm. The goal is to give them ways to notice what is happening internally and make some more intentional choices in their life. And that is the goal through Reset, Refocus, and Recharge Back to School webinar. Just a little bit about me. My name is Molly Schreiber, and I am CEO and founder of Challenge to Change Incorporated. I am the mother to 4 beautiful children, and I also am a dog mom to Mila and Blue. My noble goal in life is raising happy, healthy, safe kids who make the world around them better than they found it. And I believe a noble goal for you is set up to keep you moving forward. Have something that is intrinsically motivated but also outward pointing that gets you out of bed every day, wanting to be a better version of yourself. Through Challenge to Change, we do raise happy, healthy, safe kids in the classroom and at home through teaching them mindfulness practices. But I also like to say I do it in my home every single day with my own family. I also have a master's degree in education, and I am a certified 500 level yoga teacher and continuing educational YACA through Yoga Alliance through the world of yoga. And I'm also a great lover of mindfulness and bringing that into school settings. At Challenge to Change, our mission is about empowering individuals with a proactive approach to strengthen their mind, body, and emotional well-being through viable preventative mindfulness tools. And that's what we're here to share with you tonight, are those proactive approach models that are preventative tools that our students can use when they feel unregulated, when emotions feel big, when a Snapchat makes them upset, when they have an encounter with a teacher that might not make them feel right in their bodies. The tools they're going to learn are tools that give them the pause, capital T, capital P, the pause. That's how important it is. That time that we pause, we breathe, we do a mindfulness practice. It gives us that time in between the stimulus, what happens, and how we respond. And we want to give that gift to our teens. At Challenge to Change, we do mindful education in schools through our live, where we send our teachers in, our online, or our licensure program. We offer continuing education, classes for teachers, emotional intelligence support. We're at conferences, we do events, and professional development. We also are in the trauma-informed settings where we serve after-school programs, homeless shelters, juvenile detention centers, and offer trainings. We also have navigated into the healthcare setting through PHP programs. We do studio programs and camps for kids and workshops. And we also offer training programs for anyone who wants to deepen their own mindfulness or yoga practices for themselves or teach it and bring it into their classroom. Our goal for today in this webinar is to help our teens. Help our teens to notice the stress that's happening in their life, to reset their attention when that stress occurs, and to reflect on things without pressure, internal pressure and external pressure, and to choose the healthy next step in their life, because that's what we want for our teens today. They are our near leaders of tomorrow. They are going to be the neighbors that we have of tomorrow. They are going to be taking care of us tomorrow. And we want to help them be the best version of themselves. And that's our goal today, is to help our teens. So before we get started, let's practice what we preach, and let's take a moment to pause and breathe. So if your legs are crossed, I invite you to uncross your legs and put your hands in your lap, or maybe on your belly, or maybe on your heart center. And just take a moment to close your eyes or look downward and find a place to focus on. And when you find that spot or close your eyes, just notice what is going on in your mind, your computer, and in your body, your creature. When we pause and breathe and practice the pause, capital T, capital P, we give our computer, our brain, and our creature, our body, time to connect. When you're ready, take a complete exhale and let the breath go. Then inhale, fill the belly, the rib cage, the chest, and then open mouth exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Inhale, fill the belly, the rib cage, the chest. Open mouth exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Beautiful. One more time. Belly, rib cage, chest. Open mouth release, let it go. Now sealing the lips, begin to inhale through the belly, the rib cage, the chest. And then exhale back out through the nose or through slightly parted lips. And let's do that again. Belly, rib cage, chest. Exhale back out through the nose or through slightly parted lips. Do that a few more times on your own. And as you're breathing, begin to notice how the creature is calmed, how the computer is calmed, and how they're connected. And then take a moment to set an intention for your practice today, for your learning today about helping our teens. Maybe you want to set that intention for this webinar. Maybe you want to set the intention for the rest of your evening as you encounter teens. Or maybe it's for the week or the school year. You decide. But once you set that intention, take a few more deep breaths from the belly, the rib cage, the chest. And bring forth that intention. Put power of manifestation behind it. Remember how powerful your thoughts are. What you think, you become. What you manifest can come to pass if you truly believe and set that intention. Take one more round of breath and then turn upward the outside two corners of your mouth and smile. Open your eyes when you are ready, and we'll begin talking about helping our teens. Teen stress shows up everywhere. It shows up in school, and it shows up at the home. We see it as parents, we see it as educators. At school, their stress may be academic pressures, tests or presentations, changing classes. Social situations are huge. Sports, activities, feeling behind, fear of failure, and decisions about the future. At home, it may look like homework or future decisions as well. Maybe it's family expectations or sibling conflict, work schedules, lack of sleep, and social media. That is a big one. But stress, it shows up for our teens, and we need to help our teens because these behaviors, these pieces of stress, don't always tell us what's truly going on. We may notice, whether we're a teacher or a parent, the irritability that shows up. That's what presents. Maybe we find that they're withdrawing, procrastinating, arguing with you more, or avoiding you. Perhaps they look distracted, or they have trouble starting tasks or finishing tasks. These may be signs that the teen that you're working with needs support with stress, attention, emotions, expectations, or maybe simply problem solving. A classroom imbalance is a book that we utilize that was created to help students connect their minds, bodies, and hearts through mindfulness. The complete resource is a book. It's a digital book, or it's a full book that you can order through Amazon. The complete resource contains 100 scripted mindfulness activities to use with your teen. And each activity can be done in 10 minutes or less. After this webinar, you will get 25 YouTube videos that are 25 examples of the classroom in balance in 10-minute or less videos. These are 100 scripted mindfulness activities that you can use for brain breaks, in advisory times, in classroom times that are open in small groups, or simply for reflection. The scripts can be read as a written, or you can show the video, and they can be used at any time, anywhere. Although the resource was written for classroom use, many of the activities can also be practiced within the home. So how do we begin introducing mindfulness to teens? Well, number one, keep it optional. Maybe they just need to sit there for 10 minutes while you're doing the classroom in balance activity, and they just need the pause, the capital T, capital P, in between the stimulus that has come at them so far today and the response that's happening after. Do it in a respectful way, where you respect who they are and where they're at in the moment, and where they then have respect for you. Keep it private. Make it not childish, especially for those middle schoolers, and make it not a punishment. When you practice, you may want to consider using a name journal. These are journals that you can use where you use it normally, and it can be something that you can pull out at any time. When I journal, I love to continue to write with my right hand and ask questions when I put the pencil in my left hand and ask myself, how am I feeling? And then answer it with my right hand. Other times when I journal, I like to do it completely without lifting the pencil, so they continue to write so the mind keeps working. Again, doing it with your non-dominant hand can be very powerful. Mindfulness means noticing what we are doing at any time, and writing allows us to get what's going on in our mind, art through our hearts, and out through our hands, because our fingertips are an expression and an extension of what's going on in our head and our hearts, because they're so connected. So taking in the activities of journaling can be very powerful with teens. After you do a journaling activity with students, have them ask themselves, what felt automatic? What required attention? When do we live on autopilot? And when would awareness help us in what we're doing? Remember that when we work with teens, giving them time to pause and reflect through journaling can be powerful, but then also asking them questions to follow up. Another activity that is a classroom in balance activity are counting breaths, simply where the student breathes in for 3 counts and breathes out through 3 counts. This breathing activity gives the mind something simple to focus on, focusing on the breath, the inhalation and the exhalation, focus on the counting, focus on the rhythm that happens when you count, and focusing on raising the number perhaps to 4 and exhaling for 4 so that it feels like the breaths are getting deeper and deeper. After, it's really nice to reflect and ask them how the reflection questions once again. Ask them if they notice how they feel. Do they feel more calm? Maybe more alert? Maybe it's unchanged. Maybe it's distracted or uncomfortable. Remind them that there's no required outcome. This is simply something to use to help them connect the computer, their brain, to the creature, their body, perhaps before tests or a presentation or homework that's important, or important conversations, or those hard conversations that sometimes we have to have with people. Another great practice that I really love is called Tune In to How You Feel. This activity builds awareness of mental, emotional, and physical experiences. When we do this, we fold a piece of paper in half to create 2 columns. In the first column, answer privately. How do I feel mentally? How do I feel emotionally? And how does my body feel? And keep that private. Then you do several rounds of counting breaths, or maybe another type of breath like triangle breath. And after breathing, then after experiencing the pause, capital T, capital P, remember? On the other side, the other column, answer the same 3 questions a second time. After I practice the pause, how do I feel mentally? How do I feel emotionally? And how does my body feel? And again, keep the answers private. A teen may complete the activity privately during a stressful week. And parents, teachers, never insist on seeing those answers. Give them that opportunity to check in with their computer, to check in with their heart, and check in with their creature, so that they can connect all 3 and practice that pause. Those are just a few examples of some of the videos that are in A Classroom in Balance that you're going to get because you attended this webinar for free on our YouTube channel. You'll have access to them all year long. They'll help you to navigate stress management. The Classroom in Balance and stress management activities ask students to identify what causes them stress and how stress may be experienced not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. It also asks them to identify strategies they already know and already use. At school, students may journal privately because we believe that's so powerful, or participate in a guided discussion. At home, you as parents can ask them, what was the heaviest part of your week? Do you want help solving it? Or do you want me just to listen? Sometimes listening first gives the teen enough space to identify what kind of support they actually need. Some of us struggle to listen. We want to respond. That's the human nature, to want to fix things, but simply letting them manage their stress through talking and being that safe person for them. We have so many outside influences around us these days. The outside influence activities that we have in the Classroom in Balance ask students to consider how people, friends, music, television, books, social media being a big one, and other influences affect our thoughts and emotions. At school, some of these activities can be done again through journaling or discussion activities. Again, they're outlined in the book, or you can simply press play on the video and use it with your students. When you have these conversations, ask the student to begin to become curious about what they thought and what they are learning through understanding what outside influences can do. How do you feel after spending time with that? That's a big one. Is your phone the problem? How do you usually feel after spending time on that app? Which accounts that you use make you feel encouraged? Which ones make you leave feeling worse about yourself? There are so many different activities that are on A Classroom in Balance, and not all the activities are breathing practices. The complete collection includes topics such as identifying worry or anxiousness, gratitude, the inner critic, kindness, goal setting, stress awareness, and self-awareness. This allows adults to select activities that fit the needs of a particular class, group, family, or teen that they are working with. There are 25 activities that are given to you through this webinar. 25 activities that are given to you through a video format. You do not have to use all 25 at once. Maybe just use one per day. And then if you like the 25, maybe you want to think about purchasing more options with the Classroom in Balance, whether it be the rest of the videos or simply the book to download and give yourself. Important considerations that you want to have when you are working with mindfulness with those teens. Keep those practices really brief, especially in the beginning. Avoid requiring your students to disclose personal information publicly. Offer choices for posture or eye position, much like I did when we practiced the pause, whether it be closing your eyes or looking down. Remember not to use mindfulness as a punishment. And remember also never to promise that every student will feel calm afterwards. That's not a guarantee. Mindfulness does not replace boundaries, responsibilities, consequences, or problem solving, but it can help a teen approach these things with greater awareness. These activities are educational supports. They do not replace counseling, mental health treatment, crisis intervention, or professional care. Our goal always is to connect the home and school. Our goal is to have them each reinforce each other with the same skills using identical routines. Educators can share the practices that they offer during Classroom in Balance with the parents in the home. Families can share the tools their teen is using as well to give more information about where they're at with their emotions, their stress management, and their self-awareness. Adults, when they use similar language, it helps the student to understand how things are being shared and what is common language used amongst people who live mindful lives. Using shared language like, what do you notice? What would help you reset? Do you want to support? Do you want support? Or do you want space? And giving them empowerment like, what is your next mindful step? If you want more information about Classroom in Balance or what Challenge to Change can do for you in your secondary programming, please reach out to me or schedule an exploratory call with me. Reach out to me. My email is molly@challengetochange.inc.com. I'd love to help brainstorm ideas of how we can use this to deepen your connection with the teens that you work with. If you have any questions or definitely want to connect, I would be more than happy to do that. Right now, I'm going to drop in the chat the information of how you can get those videos for yourself quickly and freely. If you did sign up for this webinar, they also will be emailed to you in a follow-up email where the link will directly be embedded. If you are watching this webinar at a later time and would like to get the Classroom in Balance videos, please send me an email again at molly@challengetochange.inc.com, and I'd be happy to share these practices with you. I hope you learned a thing or two today about mindful education, about learning to use mindfulness in a deeper way in your classroom, in your home, and in the spaces that you work.